Thank you so much, Rachel. My name is Terry Phillips, and I am the facilitator for the Heroin Task Force. It is my pleasure to host this meeting on your behalf today. I'm going to just go ahead and start screen sharing here. All right. Oops, everybody can see that okay? That's working? All right,
Yep.
great. Brenda, I'm going to turn it to you. Brenda Dunlap is one of our co-chairs. She works at Elevate. And Brenda, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and welcome everyone into the meeting.
Well, good afternoon, or I should say aloha, in honor of Larry. We can all pretend we're someplace where it's 77 as opposed to 20 degrees. But I'm Brenda Dunlap. I serve as the Associate Director of Programming at Elevate and have joined Larry and this great team earlier this year as one of the co-chairs. I am super excited to share sort of what our plan is for today and our oversight on our agenda and our goals. So are we forwarding the,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
gotcha. I gotcha.
I didn't know if I need to pull it up on another screen. But today we have really three main objectives. We're going to provide, once again, a networking opportunity and strengthen our partnerships. Our evaluations have clearly identified that this is a important task of this group, and so we want to honor that and have had just really great feedback. We also want to honor the work of our action teams, so they're going to let us know all the work that they've been doing. And then, of course, at the end of the year, what do? We look towards 2025, and we're going to facilitate some insights for 2025 action team strategies today. So we have a packed agenda. We always have a packed agenda, but we are very efficient, and I feel really good about getting this done today. So,
Brenda, this might be redundant, but sorry if I can move
thank you.
on.
Nope, that's okay. We're going to start with our networking. Well, that's exactly actually just what I said. Exciting action team news, and then we're going to give the feedback as part of that. So as part of our goals, this is our agenda and how we're going to achieve those goals. So thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Brenda. Would you like me to take this one?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
So just a couple of quick updates. We would like to make sure that you are continuing to share the Heroin Task Force website. There's a lot of information on it, and Brenda and the team at Elevate has been wonderful hosting our website and helping us keep it up to date. So we want you to please continue to share that website, and thank you, Rachel. Rachel just dropped that right into the chat for us today. I also want to thank Rachel Moore-Baird, my dear friend from Nashville, who is helping us host this meeting today. So Rachel, thank you for all you do. The next thing, this is so exciting, and you're going to learn more about this as we get deeper into the meeting, but the Stigma Reduction Action Team has officially launched a Heroin Task Force LinkedIn page. The intention was first to really focus on stigma, and the team felt very strongly that this is an opportunity for us to be able to use this LinkedIn page to celebrate and put out information from the Heroin Task Force community partners as well. So more to come there. We just dropped in the LinkedIn page in the chat. Thanks, Rachel. And we are encouraging you to please follow the LinkedIn page. And later in the meeting, you're going to learn not only how you can follow it, but also how you can contribute to it. So stay tuned. That'll come in a little bit. And then the last thing we wanted to let you know is that we have the steering committee has officially selected dates for the 2025 meetings. Just like this year, we're going to host 2 virtual and 2 in person. The in-person meetings were just fantastic. And we also had the opportunity to go to one of our partners, Rogers Behavioral Health, in September. So that was a lot of fun. It was fun to see different, places and get a tour. So we're going to look into doing something like that again next year at hopefully another community partner's location. I'm going to get these on your calendar. I need a little assistance from an administrator, though, because I don't think my calendar can hold this many people. So I'm working on that. So, but we'll get this all to you and get these on your calendars so you have them ready to go. Also, and you don't have to do that this minute, but we have an end of year survey as we do every year. And we're going to show this also at the end of the meeting, but many people have to drop off at the end of the meeting. And I wanted to make sure I got this out there on the front end. This link to the end of year survey is also on your agenda. This is really important for us for you to ask you just to take 5 minutes or so to answer these questions. We continue to evolve what we do with the task force based on your input, because this is your task force. So it asks questions like it has in the last couple of years about, what you would like to see us do. So we really encourage you to take the survey. In addition, we're trying to gather information and make sure our records are good. So if you feel comfortable putting your name, your organization, your role, that'd be great. We're also, as I mentioned, with the LinkedIn page, if you are comfortable and would like us to tag you in one of our posts, if you want to put that information in as well, you will be prompted for that as well. So we'll have this reminder at the end of the meeting too, but I just wanted to make sure those of you who had to drop off later had this information. Before I go on, any questions? Everybody okay so far? Yes? Okay. All right. It is my sincere pleasure to once again welcome our County Executive, Paul Farrow. Paul attends pretty much all of our meetings, in person and virtual. We really appreciate you being here. Paul usually gives us a little update on what's going on in the county, and then of course kind of listens in a little bit to hear what we're doing as well. Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Terry. I don't know if you guys, but I am still working through the turkey snoozes. As you were making that comment, man, so I smoked the turkeys. I smoked 4 turkeys this year for the 2 different families, and we have plenty of leftovers. And I'm telling you, turkey with stuffing is the greatest leftover ever created, as far as I'm concerned. But I just want to thank you all again, as I said in the past, for your hard work in really helping to change this community. I think when you look back over the history of the Heroin Task Force and what we've done, we've really done a phenomenal job of changing the stigma and getting people to realize that there's help out there wherever they are on their journey. And we have individuals that have followed those journeys before and are willing to help them get out of their own kind of way and get to a new spot. So I really appreciate it. I want to give you a couple of updates from the county team, led by John, and all the work that everybody's doing here. We've been partnering with Pro Healthcare to create a Hispanic Resource Center and have Spanish language naloxone trainings. I think that's a great step moving forward. It's been fun to start embracing as many different groups and communities that we can to get the word out on that. I know the county's also been a partner with the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, developing a new overdose alert platform. We'll talk about a little bit later. WISSOR is and I'm going to read this, the Wisconsin Suspected Overdose Alerts for Rapid Response. And so it's now available throughout all the counties, but it's, again, more information. There you go, John. Thank you, sir. On what's happening and how it's impacting. And I think it's going to give us, as you think about it, last year, we created the website so that we can start tabulating our overdoses and figure out if there's patterns that we can work within. I think this is just going to be more information along that way to help out as we continue to try to reduce the effects of the drugs in our communities. Another thing that we had going on is providing naloxone in the poll places for poll workers, so that if anything should happen, they've got the training, they got the ability to see that. It was a federal recommendation. As I always say, it's always good to have naloxone on hand no matter what the incident is. Just like having AED devices in all the buildings if we have a cardiac situation. Providing that naloxone, as you all know, to an individual that's not an overdose situation has no effect on them. But if it's someone who's got an overdose with the opioids, it gives them a second chance. So I appreciate the work that we're doing there and continue to work on that. I know the stigma reduction team in the Heroin Task Force, like Terry was talking about, has got the LinkedIn page. I'm looking forward to seeing that out there and letting people know what's going on. You'll hear more about it. And then the CHIP program. You know, when you look at what the Heroin Task Force has done with the CHIP team, I think it's Wisconsin Community Services have created the drop-in center for opioid users, which is phenomenal, and have an all-peer program that's available to people in the county. I think that's the way that we know it. We know it's going to work because we know that people who engage and hear from individuals that have gone through what they're going through have a better connection. As I kind of say, look, I've been going through cancer now for a couple of months, but the conversations I've had with people on their journeys through cancer and what they're going on, there are some similarities, and then there's things that we can talk about that help us on each side look at a different perspective. And that's great. In fact, I kind of laugh. I'm looking at this video of this grizzly beard that's being grown here. This is not cosmetic. This is actual need because of the chemotherapy drugs. I have the heightened cold sensitivity. I think I talked about it the last time. I was out last night putting up decorations, and the two areas right here, they had no fur on them, were freezing. Then there were numbness and tingling. So I told my wife, I'm just going to be like the dog. I'm just going to go fur over everything and see what happens. But along that line, I appreciate again the support that I received from my team here at the county, from the community on my journey. We're into the second chapter. I've got 4 more rounds of chemo that I'm going to go through. And the ultimate goal is end of February to do some major surgery to try to clean it all out. So I'll keep fighting on my front. I'm glad that I have all of you to fight on the county's front in order to make a difference when we're looking at how these drugs are impacting our communities. And I appreciate everything that you all do. I hope you take time, especially now during the holidays, to decompress a little bit. Make sure you laugh a lot. If you've got to watch the Hallmark Channel, watch the Hallmark Channel. We all know the plots are going to be there, but really take time for yourselves to recharge and be ready for 25. We know there's going to be challenges coming along, but I know together we can get it all done. So with that, Terry, I'll turn it back to you.
Paul, thank you. We are so grateful to have you here. As we said the last time, you know, we all got your back. We're all here supporting you, praying for you, and you know you can call on any of us if you need us. So please, please remember to do that. And great advice. And I do watch the Hallmark Channel. That is my thing. Boy gets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back again. I guess that's kind of it. And you know, whatever. So thank you for your update. And if you want to hang around a little bit, we welcome that too.
Sounds good.
Hey, Paul, I like the facial hair. You don't have to get cancer to grow a beard, though. It looks good on you.
You can
Thanks,
keep the
Larry.
beard.
Appreciate it.
Paul, I was going to say too, over there across the pond, Prince William is also growing that facial hair. It's pretty attractive. So
I like it. There it is.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hands down. All right. Thank you so much. At this point, we are going to launch into some networking. This is going to be the first part of our meeting. I think there are several folks that are our first timers here with the Heroin Task Force. So I'm really excited for you all to get to know some of the community partners. We heard loud and clear the last 2 times we were together in person that this networking part is extremely important. And as you know, when we come together in person, it's much easier to, you know, get a cup of coffee and sit and chat a little bit. So I called it intentional networking, where we're going to break you up into small groups and we're going to go through 3 rounds with 3 different questions. To give you a chance to get to know one another. So as we put you in these random breakout rooms, there will be 3 to 4 of you per breakout room, and you're going to be in a breakout room for 10 minutes each time. So that'll give everybody at least a couple of minutes to introduce themselves, their role, use the chat, exchange your email addresses. But we also want you to get to know one another a little bit as well. So as we prepare for our first round, Do I have the right screen up? I'm hoping I do. Does that look, can you
It
see?
says partner networking.
Perfect. Thanks, Larry. That's what I needed to hear. For some reason, I thought I had the wrong screen. The first round that we're going to invite you to do is to answer this question. What inspired you to get involved in the substance use disorder field, and what keeps you motivated in your work? Now, some of us are not necessarily a therapist or a peer specialist or something like that, but those of us have found ourselves in this world for different reasons, and we're compelled and motivated for different reasons. So in this round, introduce yourselves, organization, role, the services you provide, so you get to know one another, and answer this question. So my question to you all, and Rachel just dropped it in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. Any questions before we put you guys into breakout rooms?
I just want to say that I really like Jamie's hat and Kirk's beard. Apparently, it's a county thing. If you're a male, you have to grow a beard. So, as a long
Solidarity with
and
the county exec is what that is. Just
all
solidarity.
right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, great. Any questions before we send you off into the virtual breakout room? And Rachel, are we good to go?
Yes.
Jeez, we are good to go. All right, you guys, have fun and enjoy this first conversation. Oh, I did. Oh, that was fun. I'm really excited to see some new faces. It's wonderful to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and let me ask a quick question. Anybody hear anything interesting you want to share? And just go ahead and unmute.
One of the things that we talked about in our group, we ended up talking about in our group, was the barrier of transportation to getting good care for addiction recovery. So, but that was just something, and I know that comes up again and again with needs in Waukesha County, is the challenges of not having public transportation readily available throughout the county.
Melissa, thank you for giving voice to that. Thanks so much. Anybody else? Maybe one more person. Yeah, Mary.
Now, we talked about the peer support specialist and how important that is.
Yeah.
That really is probably the best road to success, at least in all the stuff I've ever read or seen in that. So it was a really good discussion on that, because I think that can make such a significant difference, especially obviously with young people. So
Good.
it was a good discussion.
Good. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Wonderful. I am going to share my screen and get you teed up for the second question. So this one, I was really noodling around for questions for our networking opportunity. And last year, 2 years ago, we really talked a lot about self-care during the holidays, which adds additional stress to us. But most importantly, the fact that many of you are working in this industry, and it is hard, heavy, emotional work. And so what I'd love for you to chat about in this round is, what are some ways you prioritize self-care and manage the emotional and mental demands of your work? What strategies help you stay resilient? And again, Rachel, thank you for dropping that question into the chat, so that will also follow you into your breakout room. So just take a minute before we open up the breakout rooms again, to think about what you do to prioritize self-care, and if there's some strategies you can share with your fellow peers. And again, we're doing this randomly, so we're hoping you aren't going to see the same people, but if you do, that's okay. But please take a moment to introduce yourself, your role, your organization, and the role you play and resources that you provide. And I will pause. Anybody have any questions before we go into the second round? All right, Rachel, let's do it. Good conversations, everybody. Good. Welcome back. Hi, Kirk. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. Welcome back, everybody. So that second question, I would love to hear one or two people share some of the things or strategies that you heard so others could hear as well. If you want to drop anything in the chat, feel free to do that as well. But what strategies are people using for self-care during this time of year or any time of year, right? Something new that you hadn't heard before?
We like vacations.
Oh, tell us more about that, Susie. So getting away, physically
Yep.
getting away?
Even if I have to work from away, like I had to work from Arizona a little bit last month. If Saturday I'm going to South Carolina, January I'm going to Florida, and February on a cruise. That really kind of helps me unwind. Even if I do have to work some, I'm still doing it.
Just being in a different location. And Kirk says hiking in Sedona works well. Yep, I can see that. Love it. Anybody else? Maybe one more person want to share? Seeking out laughter. Love that. Thanks, Jamie. Oh, love that. Like Friends, the show Friends? Yeah. You can unmute. We're not that formal. Feel free to unmute. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So this last one, I'm going to share my screen one more time. This last round, we're going to actually gather some information. So I'm going to ask you to take notes maybe on a piece of paper while you're listening to the conversation in your small group. And the question this time is a little bit more geared towards the Heroin Task Force. So what are you hearing out there? What are some new innovative approaches or new partnerships that you've seen elsewhere that we might want to explore? So, we always take information from these meetings back to the steering committee and look to see what we can do. And of course, like we said at the beginning of this, and Brenda teed it up well, we're looking to 2025 and beyond and trying to see what other things we might do. So what innovative approaches or new partnerships have you seen elsewhere that we might want to explore? So that is the question for our next round. Any questions on the question? All right. I have a quick question. Is 10 minutes feeling okay because you guys are still meeting one another? 10 minutes is good? Okay, Felicia's
Yes.
nodding.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Rachel, are you good to go? I hope you guys had a good conversation about this particular question. I would like to gather some information from you. I'm hoping to capture some of the good things that you've heard. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to grab your phone, and if you hold it up to the QR code, it will open a question that you can answer, which is the question that we just talked about. What innovative approaches or new partnerships have you seen elsewhere that the Heroin Task Force might explore? At the bottom, you should see a little plus sign, and you can add to the Padlet. You can also change the color if you want to change the color at the very top. If you can't seem to use the QR code, Rachel's dropping the Padlet link into the chat. And once I see that you guys all have this okay, I'm going to go to the Padlet so we can watch some of the answers coming in. Is anyone having issues grabbing the question or the QR code?
Carrie, I've got it, but how do I write in there? Do I have to sign up or something?
Nope, you shouldn't have to. At the very bottom, there's a plus sign, and you should be able to add your comment. I'm going to do it with you to make sure I'm telling you the right thing.
Yeah, Terry, it worked. How you explained it works.
Okay, great. Okay, so and
Yep,
Larry,
I got it with the plus sign. Thank you.
terrific. Okay, I'm going to just grab the Padlet and let's just see what's coming up here. Can you guys, whoops, yeah, you guys can see this, right? Yep. All right, so youth members, mobile response units, caseworkers and fire departments, vending machines, finding a way to share things, resources, new programs with the task force, internal communications, Possible ideas for a heroin task force team, assembling and guiding a youth-led team to share their ideas and suggestions in the substance use field. Wow, more youth services. Find those small connections. Parents Place partnering with Rogers Youth Substance Group. Parents Place comes in and provides educations to parents, guardians while they wait for their kids to finish their programs. We talked about vending machines as well as different departments coming together. Peer-run sober living. I was just typing this. Amanda, that's funny. Amanda's responding to a couple of these. An accessible, easy to use format of the resources. 988 campaign. Connections to schools, student-led groups capturing the youth voice, collaborating with neighborhood associations, more youth services, a way to highlight organizations in the community, Narcan training and free Narcan, virtual sessions due to transportation, education in schools, having those with lived experience come to speak to first responders. Wow, these are all fantastic. A way to highlight organizations in the community. Yep, thank you, Rachel. Rachel just noted that you can also like and comment on these directly in Padlet. So that's what Amanda was doing. And I can see some of you guys are adding hearts and stuff. We're more innovative in Waukesha County than most other counties. I met NACO, like this task force, and embedded mental health professionals.
That's me. I didn't know I had to put my name in. Apparently, I'm a fancy owl.
You're a fancy owl, and you can or can't. You're all good. These are all fantastic ideas. I'm thinking steering committee, as you're looking at this, we have a lot of work ahead of us that are opportunities ahead of us, right? Does anyone want to expand a little bit on any of these that in the conversations that you had? Can you guys see it okay? I could try to, okay, good.
I'm seeing it better on my phone than on my iPad because on the
Okay.
iPad they're small.
Okay. Probably can make this a little bit bigger. That helps a little bit. Can move it around for you. I will document all these for the task force as well, of course, for the steering committee to consider. But does anybody have any that you have questions about, clarifying questions, and or anything you want to expand on? Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Well, we had a great discussion. There's a new person who's a case manager with the city of Waukesha on reducing the number of 911 calls that require, both an ambulance and the thing because somebody fell down and that kind of thing. And her name is Megan, and she's fabulous, working on her master's in social work. And it's just, that's a neat new program. We already have the ride-alongs that are happening in the, with all the stuff HTF is talking about. But this is one is a little different too. But again, it's a cost savings, and then to manage the people that when they fall or when they do something, call 911 rather than having any other mode of transportation. And just a fascinating story. And so I'm hoping other fire departments will take a look at it. It's grant funded, she said, for a couple of years and that, but she's already, it sounds like what she described to us, it's already paying for itself. So that was a neat new thing that I didn't know exist until today. So
Mary, thank you for
appreciate her and that.
sharing. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And Megan, it's so good to have you here for sure. And then someone had written the 988 campaign, focusing on middle-aged men, men of color. Data shows they are least likely to ask for help. What can we do to get our message out to this group? We have a 988 group actually in CHIP under the mental health umbrella, if you will. And Francis, we can get that to that team. I think that's an excellent idea. And they actually have a little bit of grant funding right now, so we can send that to them as well. I will document all of this. We will get all of these ideas out. This is what I was hoping we would come to, is that we were able to generate some new thoughts and new ideas for the task force. At this point, I would like you guys just to take a 5-minute stretch break. Let me share my screen here so you can keep track of the 5 minutes. when we're doing these virtual meetings, it's so hard to sit for 2 hours. So I'm going to ask you to get up, step away, turn your camera off, go get something cold to drink or hot to drink, and then come back, turn your camera on in 5 minutes. Thank you. Excited about this. So welcome back from our quick break. I hope you guys had a chance to step away for a minute and grab something cold to drink. It's good to step away from the computer. We are going to head into some reports from our action teams. Please ask questions. You know, if you can use the hand raise icon, I will try to keep an eye out for you. But if you can use the icon, that helps a great deal. And we are going to go right into it at this point. So just as a reminder, our action teams this year are the Stigma Reduction Action Team, a Support Recovery, CHIP Substance Use Action Team, and our Metrics and Measurements Team. So those are the teams that we have this year, and they will stay intact for next year because they are on a roll and begged us not to do anything different at this point. So the Stigma team, I am really excited to share Jessica Brose, Jake Jansen, Joy Evans. Those three are here. Jackie Rammer from the library is not here. This team I've spent quite a bit of time with this year. Outstanding leadership, and they've done some really amazing things. I think, Jessica, you're going to speak for the team. I'm going to turn it to you. And I know Jake's online, and so is Joy. So if you need your partners, just call them. But I have milestones, challenges, and accomplishments for you.
Yeah. Jake and Joy, feel free to add anything if I forget anything. I'm sure Terry, yes, is probably really sick of us by now.
No, love you guys.
So yes, I'm one of the quad chairs to the Stigma Reduction Action Team. We've had quite a bit happen in the last just quarter here since October. So we did receive a $10,000 grant from the county for a marketing campaign. So this is something that we've been talking about for quite some time. You need money to do these things. So we were able finally to get the ball rolling and implement a marketing strategy. So we kind of thought long and hard about it. Do we want it to be a short stint of a couple radio ads, or you know, we kind of decided, okay, we want this to be sustainable for a long amount of time. What would be the best for that? Social media, right? So we created a RFP. We decided on LinkedIn specifically for stigma reduction projects. So for now, right, we're going to work with the whole heroin task force, absolutely. But that's sort of the stint right now. What we're doing is that, oh, I just clicked on myself and now I got really big. So sorry. That's the stint that we're kind of going on. So myself, Jackie, Fred from the county, as well as Rachel Cooper from Shatterproof, we all the whole team made an RFP, and we had 8 people who responded to the RFP. We decided to go with Epic Creative. That is close to home here. We decided that based on the products that they provided to us and the work that they've already done in surrounding counties. So we kind of knew they knew the area well, and they also did that work around stigma reduction, substance use. So it kind of just seemed like a great fit for us. Our challenges that we have found, so time, like I said, we got the funds in October, so it was kind of like gotta go. We were able to get that RFP and our vendor, but now we're kind of backtracking, getting all the logistics of our guidelines, what we want to be posted, what's acceptable to post, that sort of thing, trying to work through those little barriers there. And then also, again, just creating that process. So once that's done, it's basically we're in the clear. And our next steps and what I'm going to ask of our heroin task force is to go and like our new page. It just launched a couple weeks ago. Go like the posts, go comment, ask other people to like it. That would be great. We are taking ideas for potential posts. So if you might have a event coming up, If you might find a good article or something that's exciting and new, please feel free. You can actually send it right to me. And what I'm going to do is put that in a spreadsheet. Once those guidelines are all created, we're going to go ahead and kind of decide what's acceptable to post, that sort of thing. We will be sharing that as well eventually, as well as like a tentative date that you would like it posted, and that way we can kind of get it on there as soon as you want it on there, if that is conducive to what we are doing. So other than that, I believe that's really all I have to add. Does anybody else have
Do
anything?
you want me to bring up the page? I can do that real quick.
Please. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, let me do
So
that.
Epic has done a great job at creating the posts as well as posting. They kind of made our brand for us, which is something that we didn't know how to do, which is really great. So they got the logo up there, they got the cover page, as well as kind of started their marketing campaign around stigma. So Terry just put it up.
It's working. We got 4 more followers.
Yay!
And Francis already reposted too.
Francis, thank you. Cookies for everyone who reposts.
Love that. All right. Anything else that we need to share? Any questions from our partners? All right, Jessica, way to go. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
All right, fantastic. Moving right along, I think Susie maybe might be able to help me on this one. The next team, whoops, well, sorry guys. There we go. All right. Support recovery. Susie, are you able to chat about the team? Or I know the metric and measurements team has also been working. But this team, Patrick Riley, Jim Hishma, and Susie Austin are, oh, and I'm not sharing. Thank you.
Barry,
Give me a
how'd you
second.
get a picture of Hawaii up there?
I am not sure why that's, hang on one second. It's going. It's long ago. Thank you so much, Jamie and Rachel. Let's try this one more time. I must have picked the wrong screen too. That's screen 2. Let's try this again.
I'm trying to find my agenda.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this now. And you
I'm
guys
the
can
only one here.
You can see this?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So let me go back and welcome and thank again Patrick Riley, Jim Hishma, and Susie Austin for steering this team. And Susie, I think you are the only one here, but I know Felicia and Francis are also here if you want to have them jump in at any point.
At any time you can. We've been working on a survey for quite some time, and we wanted it more than just a survey we throw out there. So we're working on a voices survey. This is to get information about people in recovery from people in recovery or currently using to understand their needs to support their recovery journey. This stemmed from the last task force we had, the last work group, where we were doing some town hall meetings with people that are in recovery, what would have been helpful to them. There has been a lot of input, which is pretty amazing. And one thing that stood out, just a quick sidebar, that stood out more than the rest was they feel bad enough about themselves. They don't need friends and family to make them feel even worse. And we're also looking at offering the SOAR program, which is Parenting Through Recovery programs in Waukesha County. We are writing for funds to support that group. It's actually a pretty cool thing. They have the children and the parents both at the same time in separate areas. It's been a challenge getting approval for the voices survey. and there's always a problem with funding. So next steps, we're waiting on the approval, then we're going to be distributing it throughout the county. And then we're looking for funding for the Parenting Through Recovery program, which is called SOAR.
Thank you, Susie. Felicia and or Francis, anything you want to add about the Voices survey or anything that the partners can help you with?
We are in contracting right now with our Corp Council and creating and drafting all those lovely contracts. And once we are done, we'll be reaching out to our partners. If anyone has any participants that are seeking their services at their agencies, we'll be asking to partner with to help implement our Voices survey. So stay tuned. We have a few people in mind we'll be reaching out to. But if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me or Francis. Or
Felicia,
anyone on the support recovery action team as well.
I was going to say, would you mind just popping in, and I'll follow this up in an email, but just pop in your email address and Francis's in the chat. And then if there's any partners that are interested in participating, or you think you might have folks that might be able to participate in the survey, just reach out to Felicia and Francis. Fantastic. Thank you. Outstanding. And Amanda De Leon you can send it my way for the patients we serve, Felicia. So there's a partner for you. Fantastic. Susie, thank you for jumping in without any hesitation. That's what leadership is. So thanks, and thanks, Felicia. All right, the metrics, and Felicia, you're here. So I don't know if there's anything that you and Francis want to add. I think I had a couple of things here that you were pivoting, working with the Voices survey, and I know you're continuing to support the action teams as well.
Yes, we continue to support the action teams. We really started this year wanting to increase data literacy throughout the Heroin task force. So we did a little survey, and we'll probably be revisiting data literacy in our education series coming in 2025. Once we launch the Voices survey. The Voices survey really being the connectors. This action team has worked really hard in finding different agencies to do the different parts of the Voices survey for us, such as a phone bank, data analysis, all those things, because we are a small but mighty team. And so we've really put all of our efforts into the Voices survey and assisting the rest of our lovely action teams. Francis, am I missing anything?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. We finally got all of the entities to agree to be part of it for a price that we can afford. And now, just because it has to do with data, and even though it's not going to be identifiable data, it's still sensitive. And so our corporation council is just very concerned about like where that data lives, protections around it. So we're just still working through drawing up a contract with them, but hopefully getting that on, going sooner rather than later. But all the right people are at the table now. So that's really exciting. The data literacy is interesting because when we did the survey earlier in 2024, our goal for our team was to have 75% of people say that they were at like an apprentice level was the survey data literacy. And then everyone took the survey and 80% of people already were at that level. And so we were like, oh, we don't actually need to do the baseline literacy that we thought. But we've actually discovered a new tool for data literacy. So we're going to be implementing that and maybe getting a little bit more nitty gritty with how we assess data literacy, because our first assessment was pretty broad. And so we learned a lot from that. And once we get this Voices survey up and running, we're going to sort of readdress and reassess that data literacy piece with an even better tool that we recently learned about.
Fantastic. Quick question on the Voices survey. Can you help the team understand what happens after you get the data back from the Voices survey, and what kind of information are you hoping to gather through that survey?
Sure. So we're going to work with the Medical College of Wisconsin to do some of the analysis of the survey. They have a PhD student who will help us do some of the coding for some of the qualitative responses. And then we're really hoping to use it to inform the actions of this team, of our CHIP team, of each of the agencies. I also think it will be a good tool if people are looking for funding. So I know we talked with Megan in the city of Waukesha about how her position's a grant funded position. We're hoping information from this highlights the need in Waukesha County and that different agencies can use that to get funding they want, make decisions they want, because there's so much need and we do not have unlimited resources. And so how do we best use them? So I think it can be really multifaceted. We'll have both good quantitative and qualitative information. And then we would also hope to even maybe present at local conferences about some of the insights that we learned. I think it will be like Felicia has been saying, a really good connection piece. Because right now we have some, we in general know how we're feeling, but we don't really have any reliable data to infer upon a big population. And so I think it will give us some confidence in data.
Perfect.
To answer the question, Terry,
Yep.
the questions in the chat. Yes, we have shared hard copies of the Voices survey. It's actually the Voices survey that John Hopkins originally wrote. So it is reliable and there is validity with the survey. So we will be replicating that. We have permission to do so. So really excited for that. And I'm happy to reshare it if you want to email me directly. It is a larger PDF. So
Great. Good answer. Thank you.
thank you.
Any other questions for this team? Guys, thank you. Thanks for all your hard work. All right, and last but not least, Bree, I think you are our spokesperson for this one, but I know I'm going to introduce the team anyway. So Bree Lopez is one of the quad chairs. Sarah Carpenter from WCS, Haley Nunonen, unfortunately, is not here as well. From Aurora, and Steph Engel from HHS is also on the team as the quad chair. And Bree, you are on as the representative for this team. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring up that slide for you so you can share some of the milestones.
Yeah, so actually, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So Susie actually was going to do some of our talking about from our peer specialist because she's on every team apparently for the Heroin Task Force, and she's got a big role. So I'll let her have the thunder for this first piece.
Thanks, Bree. Can I share my screen, Terry?
Yeah, you sure can. Let me stop sharing. And please introduce Ray too.
Yeah. Okay, can you see that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is our brand new program, and this was through a grant through the CHIP, ARPA, and it's the All Peer Program. It's open to Waukesha County residents with opioid use disorders and or mental health needs who currently do not have access to peer support services. So for this program, we wanted to be able to get the people who are slipping through the cracks. For example, we have a program with DOC. When they're done with probation, they're done. So if somebody's still struggling, they can come into our all peer program. Raylene is on this call, on this meeting, and she is our new peer specialist that's working in this program now. And we do now have a drop-in center at WCS. It's open from 9 in the morning until 5 at night. Anybody can drop in. They don't have to be in this program as well. And for referrals, we have referral forms. All you have to do is give us their name, address, phone number, and we can help there. And then the other one I wanted to show you was our drop-in center. Now this is open every day, Monday through Friday, and just for somebody to talk to. And we have a number of peer specialists that are located here. So someone is always going to be here. So we're pretty excited about this, and we're excited about the commitment that WCS made to be able to have us open this. So we're pretty excited about it. A little bit slow, but we're getting some people every day. And we also have we have live meetings, in-person meetings. Currently, we have one on Tuesdays, and we're looking at starting a women's group as well. So if anybody has any questions, we would be more than willing to talk about it. But
So
it is open now.
Susie, Jessica Bros just popped a question in the chat. Do you offer virtual or calling options for the drop-in center, Jessica? That's what you mean? Yeah.
We do. We have some, actually, we have 2 virtual meetings that we host weekly. And if someone needs to meet us by Zoom, that's not a problem. We do meet with a number of people via Zoom. Basically, we want to be here to help our community in any way that we can. We're not going to turn people away.
Jessica, do you need to know how to, or like timing, or how to access that Zoom? Or, I mean, do you need to know the process? Because I wouldn't know.
I have flyers for that.
Okay.
It's called Motley Crew, and it's always the same number, so I can get that out as well. Terry,
Great.
if you want me, I can send it to you, and you can send it out to everybody.
That would be great. I actually think I'm going to post it. Would I post this under support recovery or CHIP? Where should we post this on our website?
Well, you can put it in both if you want.
We'll put it in both. Brenda, I will reach out to you to help make that happen. Okay, thanks, Susie. Great question. Any other questions? Susie, fantastic. Thank you.
So, our CHIP is really asking the Heroin Task Force to get this word out. This was one of our identified needs of life-saving measures for individuals with opiate use disorders, was getting them more connected and looking at peer support. So that drop-in center, individuals that are connected to different types of peer support through WCS all have access to that drop-in center. And specifically for the position that was funded through ARPA is the position that Ray Lynn is filling. And so she, Susie did a really good job with this flyer. You can cut it. It's, a half a page, and it gives people a few different ways to get connected, because we know individuals have different needs and different ways that they're going to be willing to do that, right? So they can either just show up in that drop-in center, they can call, or you can do that referral form for them if you're a professional working with them. But I think there's a lot of different, we all are going to touch a different group of people that might be appropriate for that referral. So when we started this, we were thinking about, Susie and I both work with individuals that have access to peer support, but not everybody does. So for instance, in my setting, once somebody is stepping out of formal substance use treatment, that kind of ends their ability to access peer support. And that might be something that they could benefit from continuing with. Similarly, individuals connected with the DOC might have peer support that way. But once they are no longer in trouble with the law, then all of a sudden the peer support goes away. And then we were also just thinking about individuals in the community that maybe are not connected in any way. So, think about if you're an employer, you may have individuals that, work for you that could benefit from peer support. I'm thinking about, people running 211. Here's another resource to provide. So, just challenge all of you to think about your roles at your work and maybe even personal, and who you might touch that could benefit from peer support, and how to help us get this word out. Because that's really the next goal for our peer specialist team, and that's the team Susie and I are both on, is to get the word out. We've created it. Now, how do we get the people there, and how do we make sure that the right people know that it's available? Francis?
Yeah, I'm wondering, is it in a place that you guys would be ready for us to maybe even reach out to some news outlets?
I'm going to say yes. Sarah Carpenter isn't on the call right now, so I guess Susie and I could sign us up for anything today. But I think probably, Francis, we can, Sarah would really be the one to probably sign off on that. So I think you could reach out to her, but I believe we are probably at that space or very close to it.
Okay, yeah, I can connect with you and Sarah and maybe Raylan and Susie and connect you guys with like Lisa and Nicole, because this is sounding like maybe something that like our local news would like to cover, this like new service and opportunity. So we can't promise that they'll cover it, but we can at least like put something out to see if they would be interested.
Good.
Love it. Love it. And we're also going, we sent the information to Epic, so it will get into a early January post as well on the LinkedIn page. So Bree, I just thought I'd give you a chance to just, if there's anything else you'd like to share, let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Does that look right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly touch on the other team. So our housing team, probably the last time we talked to you all, they were really regrouping, feeling a little bit frustrated and overwhelmed and not sure how they could make a dent in the housing situation in Waukesha County. And they decided to just try to regroup, choose a different time, be more flexible with the individuals that they really needed on their team. And as a result, their team size has doubled. They feel like they've got all the right people at the table. And so they are, just kind of looking at now what? Exploring the student contract with MCW to host the preceptor to assist with key information interviews. So I know that just one thing for you all to be aware of is they may be reaching out to you as a key.
Yeah, it's actually key informant. That's my bad. So it's a key informant interview.
Oh, what was it to say? Information? Okay, yes.
I
knew what
mistyped
it
that.
was.
That's all me.
I knew what it was because I think I'm going to be one of those interviews. But so they'll be reaching out to individuals that might have a corner of the information. That's one of the things we're finding is that housing is such a big topic, and there's some people know a lot about certain areas, and they really need to know everything that we collectively know. So if you think you might not be on their radar, but you feel like you have some good information that they could benefit from, reach out and Terry can connect you with them as well. And then our harm reduction team, they kept it very simple. They're refining next steps. So they're kind of finding their place, and not necessarily in a bad way, because we are finding that there's some overlap with our different teams. And so making sure that we're not duplicating work.
Yep. And I think one thing we all can understand as we work in this collaborative and coalition work is it ebbs and flows, because we are at the speed of volunteers, because you are volunteers on these teams. So it ebbs and flows. And I think, like you said, Bree, it's wonderful that they did pause and are not spending time duplicating efforts. So thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then the last thing I'll say is we are really got some plans for another big kind of in-person meeting to look at what are we going to do for 2025, because we have taken some good actions in 2024, and we're not going to pause here.
I'll be done in a couple minutes.
Great. I just muted her. Thank you. All right, Bree, thank you. Any other questions for this team? Okay. I'm going to move us along as we are, just move us along here. We are going to break into, you're going to self-select into a breakout room. And Rachel, I think we're just going to do maybe 12 minutes in the breakout room. And what we're going to ask you to do is choose one of the action teams to learn a little more about, or we want you to provide some friendly insights or suggestions that you might have for the team, or if there's an area of opportunity that you didn't hear that they might want to know about. And there will be someone in each of the rooms to type those up for you, but we'll just take about 12 minutes to step into these rooms to provide some input for these action teams. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can see you guys. What Rachel's going to do is open these rooms, and at the bottom of your screen, you will see a breakout room, and you just choose the one that you want to go into. If you are having trouble do that, just sit tight and Rachel will help you do that. Thank you, Rachel. Click breakout rooms in the toolbar, set join for the select the breakout room, join the breakout room you want to be part of. I will be in a breakout room, so Rachel will be manning the meeting while I am stepping into a breakout room. Any questions before we head into our last little session here? All right, let's do it. So I hope that was as enlightening to you as it was to me. We got quite a few ideas in our little breakout room. And what I'll do is I'll pass all of this information on to the appropriate folks chairing those different committees. So thank you for doing that. That was wonderful. We're heading towards the end of our meeting here, and we are now at the point where if we have any agency partners who would like to share any information, now's the chance. Now's your opportunity.
Hey, Terry, it's Amanda.
Great. Go for it, Amanda.
I just wanted to share two things. One, we finally found our outreach specialist specific to Pewaukee or Waukesha County. So Allison Erickson is on here. She's a newbie. This is her first time. So I told her you guys are all awesome and wonderful, and that this is her team to ask questions and reach out to if she has any help, if she needs any assistance in Waukesha. The other thing is I would love for you to invite you guys all. We're doing our 1-year anniversary celebrating being in Waukesha County and serving the community at the clinic on December 18th from 12:30 to 1:30. You don't need to RSVP, but if you want more details, feel free to email me. And also we're doing a resource fair for the patients in the clinic right before that from 10:30 to noon. So if anybody wants to come in and try to engage with our patients, you're more than welcome to do that as well.
Fantastic, Amanda. I had the wonderful opportunity to meet Allison in one of the breakout rooms. So I said, "Hey, we have to share information today." So you got her. Allison, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, Allison Erickson, and I am the Community Impact Specialist for CMS. I'm really excited to be there and very, very passionate to save lives.
Thank you.
And that's what we're all doing. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this task force and getting to know all of you and working together as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Amanda and Allison, if you want to, if there's a flyer or something about that open house, let me know and I'll get that out, and we can get that out.
I'll email it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any other agency updates before we head into the close?
Sonia here.
Great, Sonia, go for it.
Just wanted to let you guys know that Rogers has a virtual IOP for veterans and first responders. So that accepts commercial insurance or TRICARE. So that is for the whole state of Wisconsin. There are some spots left. I think we're slowly getting the word out there, but it's a really neat program, and it takes different treatment modalities for first responders and vets. So Dr. Hofung is the one that is overseeing that, and she's super passionate, and she is a vet as well. So
fantastic. Sonia, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Anybody final word? All right, Larry, I am going to turn it to you to take us home here. And I'll just share the last slide so you can use that as a prompt.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here today. I know this is a very busy time of the year. Personally, I am recommending everyone spend a week in Maui. If you decide you want to go, I can recommend a great place to stay and great places to eat. But seriously, I hope everyone is taking good care of their mental and physical health as we end the time of year. And I hope everyone gets some good rest and gets ready for 2025. I think looking back at what all the action teams have done in 2024 is truly remarkable. And it's a tribute to all of you who have taken the time to volunteer, to be part of the action team, or to be part of these quarterly task force meetings. I said in one of our small groups today, it is the quality of our community partners that has made the task force so successful. And we will look forward to seeing everyone virtually on March 11th. But we had great attendance at our 2 in-person meetings. So we're going to do that again on June 10th and September 30th, and then back to virtual in December 2nd. So that's all I have, Terry, unless you have anything else.
I do.
As a former teacher, if we even got out a couple minutes early, that would be very exciting.
Well, hang on, don't leave yet. So I just want to put out there, and I'll put it in an email too. If there are any community partners, Rogers hosted our September meeting last year, and it was fantastic. So if there is anybody else, other partners that want to host for one of those in-person meetings, I have not booked a location for those at this time. So that would be, I guess, my ask. And then the last ask, again, I'm going to ask again for you guys to take a moment to fill out the survey. It really is about a 5 or 6 minute survey. If you can take some time to do that. And then it is water cooler time. So I can hang for a little bit if you want to hang and talk about anything. If there's some, thank you so much, Rachel, for popping the link in there. I can hang back. Otherwise, yeah, you can get 3 minutes back in your day.